Hey, Las Vegas. Welcome back to Vegas Realty Check, local Las Vegas real estate news. And I'm Trish Williams.
And I'm Tiana Carroll. Happy Thursday, Vegas.
Thursday, and we're at our market report day. So we're going to be talking all about the February 2024 stats.
Yep.
So we're in March right now, and February numbers hot off the press because
I couldn't even find them. They weren't released online.
Yeah. So we got the insider scoop, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to get this to you before anybody else does.
Right,
so,
before it's even on the LVR website.
Yeah, so we have that coming to you this morning.
But before we get into our monthly market on what happened, before we go back in time to February, let's talk about immediately right now what our second Thursday, what is the day, the 14th of March?
Yep.
The 14th of March. Let's see what our numbers look like because they're pretty similar to last week. Like our single family sold is 3,331.
Thank you. Yes, and that is that's the single family on the market, right?
On the market. That's the active single family home.
Under 3,500, that's where we've been hovering for, a year.
Yeah, and now, we were at the 3,500, now we've been hovering around that 3,300.
Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah.
407 sold for the week.
Yeah, that's a good sales number.
Our sales numbers are doing well.
Not at that. We had 339 price decreases.
Yep, that number's been consistent all year.
Yeah, it's only been 3 months, but yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, and then 697 under contract. That's a good, healthy number, too.
That's a good, healthy number.
Yeah, lots of indicators. Market's doing well.
Spring has sprung.
Spring has sprung. We did get, we had something happen, economy, whatever, wise. I have no idea what all this stuff means, but I do know that what it meant was rates jumped up a little bit last week. Yeah. So that was a big bummer for everybody. So.
That was a big bummer because everybody is hanging on every word, hoping for that interest rate to drop. So then it felt like the market was a little bit deflated, like, we dropped, it went up, our interest rates are up. Yeah. That's okay.
But what goes up will come down eventually. One day.
It's all cyclical.
Yeah. And
one day. We don't know when that day is, though.
So they did announce the intent of dropping rates once inflation's under control. So, I think they pulled back on that a little bit, like saying it's not going to happen right away, but they never said it's not going to happen. So I feel like, there's still a silver lining in the future.
You're like so hopeful. You're like, please just drop the interest rates. I don't know. If and when they drop those interest rates, I think it's going to go bananas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I can't believe how many buyers are just sitting on the sidelines. Like, I'm just waiting for the right interest rate.
Yeah. And that troubles me because it's they're waiting for the right interest rate before they jump. But when the interest rate gets right, prices are going to get higher and their buying power is going to
stiff.
Decrease. Yep. So it's really, I know the rates are not attractive at this point, but it really is the time now to buy versus when the rates come down. You can always refinance later. So I don't know, just a little, I guess, my insight or, a lot of ours.
Yeah. I think in general, if you're talking to anybody in real estate or in mortgage, they're going to tell you the best time to buy was yesterday.
Always.
And then they're going to let you know that interest rates are, said to come down. The election year, you've heard it. Especially if you tuned into the show, you've heard all the same things we have been saying. And that's literally most everybody in real estate across the board.
Yeah. Best time to buy was 2010. So if y'all can figure out a way to get back there, that's...
Hey, let me know. I'm looking to go back in time too. If you figure it out, let me know. I want to go with you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you don't have a time machine, then, you gotta deal with what we're in now.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the thing, right? It's becoming almost imperative that you get into the market before it gets so out of control that it's unaffordable for future.
Yes, and there's so much stuff going around, buzz and everything like that. Like, we're running out of dirt. We're moving outside into cities nearby where, it's not, there's nothing that says that, like, real estate's going to, like, not be, not appreciate over the years.
Yeah, and I did see, like, for the past week, there's all these top 10 cities that are going to crash, biggest recession happening in these 10 cities. And of course, Vegas is usually on all of them. And this week, I went through 4 different lists, and Vegas was not on one of those lists.
Well,
I was like, woohoo!
Gary Keller, we had our national family reunion.
Yep, that's our brokerage
conference.
national convention.
Yeah, national convention conference. Gary, and shout out, we had Tony Robbins talking to us, but
And Mel Robbins.
And Mel Robbins, yes, it was a great conference. But Gary Keller, owner, founder of our company, had said that he thinks we just came out of the recession. He thinks that quarter 4, 2022 was our recession, and we 23. I forget what year I'm in. But
that's because 23 felt like it disappeared.
Yeah,
like what do we do for a year?
Yeah, and he feels that was our recession, and that we're pulling out of that now. And I think we've even said that a few times on the show, is that's what we thought we were in, like that was our downfall. So.
Yeah, it wasn't as extreme for us that we thought it was going to be, so maybe they didn't feel like it. But there's other parts of the country. But I like the optimism that Gary has, like, hey, we're moving out of this and moving forward. And I believe that.
Yeah.
Because prices are up this year on homes. They've gone up, so that's impressive.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, even though we are literally in spring, Tony Robbins was talking, like his thing was all about seasons, like seasons of scarcity, which he calls winter seasons, and
winter is coming.
Yeah. Well, he was saying we just got out of winter, and what happens right after winter is spring.
Totally.
So not just literally, because that is the season that we're in, but in terms of
figuratively.
Yeah, figuratively too. So that was interesting. Quick thing I wanted to bring up. We do this show on video every week.
Every Thursday, 9:30 a.m. So in case you haven't joined the tribe yet, make sure you like, share, subscribe. We love having you.
Yes, go on our link tree, send in listener questions. That's realtycheck.vegas. But we do this show every week unscripted.
We're just up here talking, having a conversation.
Yeah, if you see our notes, they're just like super, super minimal.
Yeah, I don't even have notes, so that's okay.
Yeah, sometimes I do, like rarely. But yeah, so we do this like totally just like on the fly, unscripted, just off of our knowledge and what we're learning and what we know and our experience out there in the market. Last week, after the show, we had to do a video that was scripted.
It was.
It was very scripted. And that, I realized something about myself then.
You don't like a script, I'll tell you that.
It's impossible. Because
it's not impossible. You did well.
And they were saying, like, hey, here's how you walk, and here's what you say. And I was like so focused. I rewatched the video. I was so focused on trying to walk because I was like, wow, am I walking okay? Like,
I've only been doing this for just a few years now. Do I remember how this goes?
Yeah, so I was like, focused on like something as simple as walking, and then trying to remember a script. I was like totally just off me.
Off your game.
Off my game.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody, especially when it comes to working on a script, being on video, it just is a very weird, not natural thing, and you're so inside your head. Even before I started co-hosting here with you and I would just come on as a guest, the first couple times I was like, oh, what do I say? What if I mess up? And now I just mess up all the time. But you guys are fine with it. You know me now, so you get it.
Yeah, this is us.
We'll correct it.
Yeah.
But no, it's weird especially when you're being directed.
Yeah. Yeah, so I that was something where I was like, I do this every week on video, and like it feels so natural. But like it was a 30-second video where they were like, do this and say this, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. It's too much.
It's too much. Yeah, I think it's just a whole different mindset when you get into the direction of it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Think too much. So
yeah, you got to get out of your own way, girl.
Yeah, so if all y'all are wondering, this is us. This is us like, every day.
This is our regular us
This
stage.
is our regular us, yeah. So, what do we got going on?
Ooh, second Thursday of the month. That means market report. We're going to go back in time and look at all of the February stats and numbers for real estate in Las Vegas.
All right.
And so I guess we always start off with single family homes. And units sold are up 10%. And they were 1,896 units sold.
It's almost 1,900. Not a bad number.
Yeah, but you know what I really like is the up 12, almost 13% was the new listings.
Well, yeah, that was the sellers that were like, hey, market's doing better. Now we can sell.
Yeah. Time to jump in the market. We got up to 2,533 new listings last month.
Yep. And then at the end of the month, units available in single family residence was 3,471, which is right around where our numbers are still hovering. We're in like 3,300 now, so a little bit less, but you know, we're that's good.
But that median home price range is still going up.
Yeah.
Up.
8.2%.
Regardless of what interest rates are doing.
Yeah.
It went up 8.2%, so we're now at $460,000 is the median home price range in Vegas.
Yeah, median price range of new listings, 485.
Yeah.
So that's even up. And months of inventory, gosh, we don't even have 2 months.
We don't. We're dropping down to less than 2 months, 1.8 months of inventory. And that's really what's sustaining our market, right?
Yeah. I was
If
talking.
we had 5,000 homes on the market, prices would be coming down.
Yeah, I was looking at a listing coming up, which coming soon. Pay attention.
So if you do want to get a house, we know a girl who's listing one.
Yeah, so it was in the luxury price range in Inspirata, coming onto the market. And, usually luxury, and that's what, before looking at the comparables and before looking at the numbers, I was like, oh, usually, we're in like a 60, 120 day market in that, in that price range. Normal. That's completely average. Everything there, luxury price point, selling, and it was I'd say between 1 million and 1.5 million.
Okay.
Inspirata was going in less than, the highest number I seen was 48 days.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were like less, like 10 days, 7 days.
Well, I mean, you're here, you get it. You've seen the market change because our valley is changing.
Yeah.
When they're bringing in different industries into our valley, they're also bringing in different education levels and skill sets. So now we have a more educated workforce and higher paid, higher price points in our employment, which means that higher price points in sales of homes. Everything's going up.
Yeah. So, seeing that type of movement and that type of price range is definitely an indicator that we have a pretty strong market.
Yeah.
So
We're good. Let's sell all the $1 million homes.
Of course.
Million here, million there, million everywhere.
Well, it seems like that's getting closer to being an average price range.
Well, it is getting closer. I mean, we're halfway there almost, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But $1 million what it buys in the valley now versus what it bought 8 years ago. Two totally different things.
Yeah, you used to be able to get a mega mansion for $1 million.
Yeah, what did they call them? McMansions?
A McMansion.
A little 10,000 square foot home.
You could be featured on Cribs.
Yeah. You have a theater and a gym and all of that. That is not the $1 million home of today.
Oh, no. Today it's a home.
It's a nice home.
It's a nice home.
It's a very
nice neighborhood usually, and there's definitely some incentives of what $1 million can get you, and I'm sure way better than what it can get you in California.
That's true.
But it's not what it used to be, of course.
Yep. Because times change.
You used to be able to buy a move-in or a first median home for $200,000. So that was
your standard 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 180, 200,000, easy peasy all day long in the neighborhoods. And townhomes used to be so inexpensive.
Oh yeah,
like $100,000, $120,000,
60. I remember selling.
Well, I'm not talking way back.
Well, I remember when I started selling a 3-bedroom condo for $60,000, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I buy that?
Yeah, and so that leads us right into our condo numbers because that median home price has gone up significantly. But our stock, we have 530 units that sold in the month month of February.
Yeah, so that stock, that unit sold is up almost 18%.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah, and the new listings are almost up 20% on condos and townhomes.
Yep, 738.
Yeah.
Units available, 1,160 condos and townhomes across the valley.
Yep, and that median price range is no longer 60,000. Not even close.
Not even 200.
Not even 200. 283,000 is the new median home price range for condos and townhomes in the valley.
Yeah, and the new listings are almost at 300, 289.9.
Yeah, and that gives us more inventory than single family, but 2.2 months.
Yeah.
Still pretty low.
Down 14.7%.
I know. Sellers, where are you at? Call me.
Yeah, please.
No, some of these sellers, they're like, I don't want to have to buy in the same market I'm selling in. Well, that's the way it works, man.
Yeah, that's the way it works. So you could just go live in an RV for a while and see what happens.
Yeah, I do want to scroll down now to the days on market because you did bring it up.
Yeah.
About how because it is always the higher price points move a little bit slower.
Yeah. Yeah, you have
and
less of
fair.
a pool of buyers in those price points.
But those days are not long, not the way they used to be.
No. So more than half are selling in less than 30 days.
More than half, 56% are selling in less than 30 days.
Yeah.
That's the majority of the house. And if that house, I'm telling you right now, is in good condition, clean, turnkey ready, that house is one of the ones selling in the 30 days.
Yeah. And the other 17%
Right?
are less than 60 days.
Yeah, 31 to 60 days. It's got 17% of the homes. And then it just goes down from there. 61 or under 90 days is 10%.
Uh-huh.
And then under 120 is 7.4.
7.4.
Yep.
And then 8.5 is 121 days plus. So yeah, when you look at the percentages of that versus the units available, it's not a lot. Not a lot there.
Yeah, but the days on market, even from last month, January, was 52% of the homes sold within 30 days. Now it's 56%. So that's even going up.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're doing good. And
all those good homes is flying off the shelf.
Yeah, when you compare it to last year, 2023, we're up quite a bit because 2023, less than 30 days was only 41%.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It was much longer back in the February of 23, that's for sure. Or it felt longer.
Yeah.
Getting those homes, but that is not where we're at now. Yeah,
and the numbers for condos and townhouse days on the market is pretty much the same. Slightly different, but
slightly different.
Yeah.
Like in the 31 to 60, it's like we've got 17% for single family home, but 20% for townhomes and condos. But the 0 to 30 days for both condos and townhomes are right there at 56%. They're equal.
Yeah. So doing well.
Yeah.
So did we miss anything here?
I don't think we missed too much there. We talked about the months of availability, days on market, what our stock is, what we've sold. So I think we're pretty good. I think we could jump on. We missed a listener question last week that we didn't get to answer.
We did. It was Maria.
So we can answer Maria.
Maria. Hey. See, we told you we wouldn't forget about you.
See, Maria, we're women of our word.
Yes.
We'll get to you.
Yeah. So, Maria said, my house backs to a freeway.
It does.
And Maria's concerned that could be a problem when she sells the house.
A resale.
Yeah.
Was it a problem when she bought?
That is exactly where I was going to start with this. Did the freeway get built after you bought your house, or
wasn't it there?
Was it there when you bought? Because if that wasn't a deterrent for you, the same thing applies to a lot of buyers out there. Now, there's buyers that are finicky.
There are buyers that are finicky that won't buy at a T-cross in a road, or won't.
That's a feng shui.
Right, that's a feng shui.
Yeah.
Or there's buyers that won't buy if it's backed up to a road, and so you will lose some buyers because of it.
Yeah, what I've
But
noticed,
not a lot.
Yeah, not a lot. It's not. Yeah, it's not going to be like, oh no, can't buy.
It's not
that
like
house.
there's streets of houses that are sitting empty because they back up to a road. People live there. Life goes on.
Life goes on.
I only ever had one buyer who was upset with it, and he's like, I don't want them running cars into the back of my wall.
That's a concern.
It is a concern, and it happens. I drive around the valley all the time, and at least once a week I'll see a house that has a car in its backyard that came through a wall.
Yeah, my husband and I have a joke. We call it Sunday morning photos. For the longest time, we were taking these photos that always happen Sunday morning of like brick walls crashed into.
Bad Saturday driving.
Bad partying and probably drunk driving, I'm just saying.
Don't drive drunk, y'all.
Don't drive drunk. So that, and most of the time, I don't know if I've never seen this not apply, but most of the time when you're back to a freeway, there's a huge retaining wall there.
Yeah, in the valley, and she's saying she's backed up to the freeway. So we have tall soundproof barriers on our freeways, so residential areas don't get all of that freeway traffic, and it does such a good job at minimizing the sound.
Yeah, so
you get more sound on a residential street with just like a 5-foot block
street
wall than you do from a house that backs up to the freeway, because usually it's just a giant wall back there.
Yeah, and I do think in all the cases, and correct me if I'm wrong, of course, that there's usually a buffer zone, or maybe it's like a city requirement to like have a buffer zone between the freeway and the...
Yep.
So it's not like your back wall is the freeway.
Yeah. There's definitely a buffer zone. Usually it's like a water drainage or whatever, like a 5-foot between that wall and your wall. Or maybe it's bigger. I don't know. I never measured it.
Yeah, so I don't see that as a huge deterrent, but I can give you some tips.
Okay, let's hear 'em.
Of things to distract the sound, if the sound's an issue.
Right.
Number one.
Water. Oh, go ahead.
Number one is insulation in your home.
Okay.
So you can do things like add extra insulation to even your walls to help soundproof them some more. Mm-hmm. To your attic and things like that can help soundproof, reduce noise. They have drywall these days that is soundproofing drywall.
Yep.
That you can it sounds like a huge project, but it's really not that bad. Remove the drywall, replace it with soundproofing. If that inside you're hearing that noise and it is distracting or bothersome to you.
There's a non-construction way of dampening outdoor noise.
Yes.
And it's water.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just an outdoor fountain. If you have a pool that has a waterfall, that breaks up so much of that noise when you're in your backyard, you don't even notice it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It gives you this serene sound.
Yeah, just a little trickling waterfall you plug into the wall is fine back there. If you don't have a pool or a water feature, a pre-made one does a very good job of dampening that sound.
Yep, absolutely. And turning your backyard into a sort of oasis, like adding some huge mature trees along that wall. So you're not even looking at the freeway when you're in your backyard, and when your home's being shown, they probably don't even realize it's there. And it's not that you're trying to tell them it's not there. Of course, they have a map, but
we're not trying to hide anything, and we'll definitely disclose. But yes, just adding large trees, because anything that can break up the sound waves is going to dampen the noise.
Yeah, and then having those trees when you're in your backyard, it's not even going to be a relevant factor. So those are things that you can do to help distract that. Windows.
Oh yeah,
Windows
are a great way to.
Yeah, windows insulate so much. The newer windows they've come so far with
they
windows.
have. Is it the Live Builder that I walked into their house and the whole house felt like airtight? You felt like a pop when the door opened, because it was so tight and there was nothing getting in or out.
Yeah. I think they have a certain percentage that they have to, because of I don't know. Can you suffocate in a house? I don't know.
I don't think that's a real thing.
There's a percentage.
All this abundant air.
Yeah, I don't know. But there's a percentage of air that has to flow through a house. There's a regulation on that. It's a super small percentage. I think 0.3% or something like that. But I don't know.
Yeah, but that's not because you're suffocating.
I wonder what that is for. It just has to breathe.
The house needs to breathe so you can breathe.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Something.
That is so funny.
So that's that's another option. So definitely I was at the IBS, the International Builders. What's the S?
Show.
Oh, show.
Isn't it the International Builder Show?
Probably is.
Yeah, I always call it the construction show or the builder show.
Yeah. So I was there. It was here in town a couple weeks ago.
Yep, it's here every January, February-ish.
Yeah, and wow, like so many new things are coming out. And one of the things that I thought was pretty fascinating, and I don't see it as happening today, right? But it's definitely, I think, something that we're going to move towards in the future, is propane's back.
Yay.
Yeah. If you guys are in the Valley, I'm sure you are not immune to the fact that gas prices have like doubled.
It feels like they skyrocketed.
Yeah, and not like just gas at the pump, but like gas, your natural gas.
Cooking and heating your home gas.
Yeah, so it's becoming like very unaffordable like power was. And the thing about power is many people have been able to fix that problem with solar.
Converting over to solar.
Yeah. So now you have the gas issue. So now you have this humongous gas bill instead of a humongous power bill. And it's like, did the utilities ever stop trying to ruin our lives? But
yeah, no, when I moved into Lily, she was plumbed for both gas and electric, and I thought, oh, I'm going to get all gas appliances and whatever, and it was great in the beginning, and then the prices skyrocketed up, and now my electricity bill is teeny, teeny, tiny, but my gas bill's like, hello, I'm big.
It's crazy.
Like, no, I don't have that. I don't have that kind of energy. Everything's going back to electricity.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of propane water heaters, just a lot of propane options. Like I think that they're working on a way to bring propane as easily accessible in the average American home.
Okay.
Yeah, because it is like when you're on horse property, you can get those big tanks.
Yeah, you get
brought
a
in
huge tank. Especially a lot of the valley is. When the horse properties in the valley are all electric. And so if people do want propane, they get the huge propane gas tank, put it on the side yard, and have that sucker filled up and use it for the duration.
And let's be honest, like cooking on electric stoves versus gas stoves, if you like cooking.
I think that is an old myth because when we did a remodel on the Painted Desert, we used a gas or electric stove, and I was concerned about cooking on it, but it really was great temperature control. Like with modern technology, those electric stoves have come such a long way. For somebody who loves to, I guess I don't love to cook. I love to eat, but I do a lot of cooking, and I got to the point where I could just cook as effectively on that electric stovetop as I could a gas.
Yeah, I don't. I used to have electric as well in our old house, so I think I prefer gas, but I like to heat tortillas. Like, right on the fire. So I don't know, but I guess that's
because they're delicious.
They're delicious.
Now I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Let's go get Mexican food.
So that was one of the things I seen at the Builders Convention. Another thing, which I thought was pretty fascinating, is modular homes. And the thing is, it's not your mama's modular home or not your grandma's modular home.
Right.
So before that's like, manufactured homes, trailers, and even those. Like even
they've
those
come
now,
a long way.
They have come a long way.
Yeah, so. And they're doing more of like the tiny home aesthetic in those modular homes, so then they don't feel like trailers.
They don't feel like trailers at all. Like they have drywall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have drywall. They're like, I mean, then they're super energy efficient. Wow, they're so much different. But they also have something which they don't call, which they call a modular home instead of a manufactured home, or they had one that they were calling HUD home, or something like of the sort. But the modular homes look pretty much exactly like a custom home.
Yeah,
but they can bring it and place it. And I guess if you go this rating, and the company was called Genesis. So if you go through and purchase their modular, like one of their modular packages, modular homes, in most cases, because zoning restrictions are an issue.
Right.
If you're buying a manufactured home and your zoning is not for manufactured home, it's for custom home. You can't just put a manufactured home there. It's not an option. It has to be zoned for that. And the modular homes, in most cases, can get away from that because they are basically very much like a custom home, but for like 40% of the cost.
Yeah, and they're slabbed, right?
They are. They are.
So that's how come they can get away with it.
Yeah, and they have options. I was talking to the guy. They have options where they can like just do a whole package, which includes like utility, everything, just like your total boom. It's there, and it's in like I think it was like 8 weeks or something from like start to finish. Can you imagine?
Yeah, if you've ever built a house, you know how it does not take 8 weeks.
No, it takes like 2 years.
It might take 8 weeks just for supplies to come in.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just like, wow, we're in the future.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there was a company out of Sweden that I was researching in like 2022, and they did modular homes, and it was sort of like Legos, like you could add bedrooms and they just sort of clicked into place. And
I think that's kind of what this is.
Okay, yeah, that was really, really cool. At the time, though, it was so expensive to bring it from Sweden to Vegas. But, 2 years later, I'm sure there's companies who have jumped all over the bandwagon with the sort of blueprint on how they're doing their business and to make it more cost effective here in the U.S.
Yeah, it seems extremely cost effective. I'm actually going to be scheduling a consultation with Genesis to get more information. I am so fascinated. I want the rundown of exactly how all this works.
I always thought that would be
amazing.
I always thought that would be something brilliant for Pahrump.
Yes.
Because you can get big parcels of land out in Pahrump, and some of them are on well, and you can attach electric, and then you're just sort of off the grid on these sort of prefabbed houses.
Yeah.
And they're nice, and they're modern, and they're bright, and they're airy. They're much more impressive than if you said, you bought a manufactured home or a trailer.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. So. Yeah, absolutely. And energy efficient. Like that's always been biggest deterrent of trailers and manufactured homes because their walls are so thin. They're not energy efficient, but they have fixed that problem.
Yeah, which is good because you're right, they're not energy efficient.
Yeah. And I mean, they had when you go down to like their actual like manufactured homes, they had one package there that was like $199, I believe it was, that was like 3-bedroom, brand new, great modern style, and that's like everything installed, brought in, delivered, utilities hooked up, like boom.
That's awesome.
That's pretty awesome. You just have to have the land.
I was going to say you have to have the land and you have to have the slab and the utilities in place, so they just come and erect it all and connect it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. If there's no utilities on the lot, you have that.
Yeah, they don't magically appear, y'all.
Yeah, they just bring them in. No,
but did you see all of the cool solar stuff at the show?
Yes, there is. I mean, just so much in innovation. Like it is great, and then design. Oh my.
Oh well, we could talk a whole other show on design, but we don't want to get too carried away. But some of the cool solar stuff was shingles for houses, so your actual roof would be a solar panel.
Shingles. I want to see those, so I'm so intrigued by those.
Yeah.
I like the look of it, even like just what I've seen off the renderings, but I've never seen one real life.
Oh, you didn't see them at the show?
Well, not like
not the whole roof, but they had the displays out there.
Well, yeah, the little. I want to see one on a house.
Oh yeah,
like I want to see a house
on the pictures that they had. It was the tiles are black.
Yeah,
so it was like a black roof, and it really just looks clean and neat and modern.
Yeah,
and every single panel up there is absorbing sun.
Yeah,
which is cool. And then they also had a booth that had those octagon almost tiles, and they're solar tiles, and they can pull out pieces or sections of asphalt, like say before a stoplight or something, pull out those sections of asphalt, put in those octagon tiles, almost like pavers, and those are solar panels.
Wow, I did not see that one.
Yeah, and they can run like the street lights and the stop signs that have the lights on them and all the stuff for the city. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so amazing, the minds out there and what they've come up with. And one more thing. I know we're like way over time, but one more thing. There's probably a million things here, but another thing that I thought was like, wow, thank God someone came up with this. But like quartz countertops are very popular right now.
People
and
love a solid surface.
Yeah, solid surface. They have a new way of doing that. That's not. Yeah. So
more.
So instead of buying like a big slab of quartz and tearing out your old countertop, and chipping it, if you have the tile,
yeah.
But you're in for a project. But instead of doing that and bringing in a whole new countertop, they have overlays now. So it's real quartz. It's just super, it's a lot thinner.
Like an eighth of an inch.
Yeah, so it just goes right over the top and the, seams and whatever, and just to the average eye. This is a quartz countertop. You can't tell that it's any different, but again.
Wow, that seems like an incredibly cost
less than
effective
half.
way to upgrade a tile countertop or a laminate or just
kitchen, anything, and it's less than half the cost. And I was like, wow, you guys are really using your heads on this stuff. So good job.
That's very interesting.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah. So, lots of new things going on. And you want to hear more about new things that are going on. How do people get a hold of you, Tiana?
Oh, well, you can always reach out to me at 702-379-9948. That is my cell. You can call or text. And then you have your cell that they can call or text.
Yes. That is 702-308-2878. My name's Trish Williams. And please, if you have a moment, go to our link tree, which is realtycheck.vegas, and you can follow us anywhere and everywhere, anywhere that you please.
Right. All the Instagram and Facebook and everything for the show and for us personally. So come join the tribe.
Yes, and send us your listener questions. We can answer them live here on the show, just like we did Maria's today.
Yep. And make sure you hit that like button, share, subscribe if you're on the YouTube. Obviously, if you're listening to this on any kind of podcast, you've already downloaded it. So thank you for that.
Yes, thank you. See you guys next week at 9:30.
Have a great week. See you then, Vegas. Bye.